Hi. So thank you for joining me today. I'm Janet Raptis. I am an energy healer and an intuitive development teacher. And I hope you all had an amazing holiday and Happy New Year. And so, hey, Melissa. I've got a few things on my mind that I've been thinking a lot about over the last few weeks. That is intention setting, sacred space, and community. And intention setting is pretty obvious, most likely because it is the new year. But I wanted to share some of my favorite ways to set intentions, and that involves creating sacred space. And so, it can be really, setting intentions can be great. It can be really powerful. And it can also be something that we have trouble sticking to or moving through or remaining aligned with. And it's okay if we come out of alignment with an intention. That will happen too. Sometimes something that we think we really want may not actually be what we want at all. And so coming to intention setting with this, with an open-mindedness about your intentions, but also with some focus and also with a willingness to look at what's actually going on inside. Because one of the things that I've noticed for me in the past, and this I think happens a lot with people with resolutions, but something that I've noticed in me and noticed in some of the people that I work with is that a lot of times we can't stick with our intentions or our resolutions. We can't stay aligned with them because we have limiting beliefs operating that are standing in the way of us going through with them. So if, for example, if I set an intention that I want to hit a certain business goal, right? But I don't feel like I'm worthy of earning that much money, then I will sabotage myself along the way. Or if I want to, a lot of people want to set relationship goals, and that's amazing. I want to meet somebody, I've been doing all this inner work, so forth and so on, and that's wonderful too. But if we still have limiting beliefs operating, then those will stand in the way of us achieving that. So for example, if we still have a fear of being betrayed in a relationship, then we won't be able to manifest one, right? So one of the things that I really like to do, I love to create sacred space and ceremonies around intention setting. And when I set intentions, I try to get really clear with myself about what's going on. I mean, I was just talking with my business coach today and some stuff came up and I was like, whoa, like I'm feeling myself in my visioning process, right? These are amazing things that I'm visioning. I'm so excited about them, right? And at the same time, I'm having this experience of like feeling, whoa, like I'm like, okay, wow, that's big. And so I have to notice that, right? What is really going on here? Why am I having a little bit of resistance around this? What is the fear? What is the belief that's coming up? And when I can be open to looking at that, when I can really just be honest with myself and authentic with myself and say, it's okay. It's okay to be scared. I mean, I don't know of anybody who lives a truly fearless life, right? I mean, fear is always there. I feel a lot less fear than I used to. But what has changed more is not how much fear I feel, it's my willingness to move through the fear, right? And so in my willingness to move through the fear, something that's so important is looking at, well, what is coming up here? And what do I need to know about it so that I can look at it? Do I need to heal something? Do I need to look at my limiting beliefs? Do I need to reach out to somebody and have some accountability? Do I need to schedule a session with somebody so that I can see what is happening in me? So when I go into setting intentions, the first thing that I do is I often will write about them or journal about them, and I will specifically ask myself, what would it be like if I achieved this? What would my life be like if I achieved this? And as I ask myself that question, I notice what's coming up in my body. So I use my sensitivities, I use my ability to tune into my inner wisdom to check in, like, wait a minute, there's something coming up here. Or, oh my God, this feels amazing, right? That happens sometimes too. So just noticing that. And then when I set my intentions, I really, I take note of anything that I need to look at or work on. And then when I set my intentions, I create some sacred space for them. So one thing that I love to do that is to set up an altar And a lot of people have altars that they keep the same, and I have a few that are that way, but I also have my primary altar that I change a lot, and I change it according to what is going on with me. Am I doing something with other people? Am I leading a group meditation? Is it a group altar, or is it an altar for myself? So when I had my birthday a few weeks ago, I set up an altar for my birthday, and I brought in I got a reading, an astrological reading, which was amazing, with my friend Martha Perkins Campanella. She did my solar return for my birthday as well. It was really great. And then I journaled, and I set up an altar that had things that represented me and felt in alignment with me and with my birth and with my presence here on the earth. I pulled cards for my intention to get further insight. So I set up my intentions for my year, for my working with the energy of my solar return. I pulled cards for those. I reflected on the cards. I meditated on the cards. I wrote my intentions down. I put them on the altar, and I kept them on the altar for a while. You know, I infused my altar with love, and I blessed everything, and I let everything kind of sit there and stew there, energetically stew there for a little while. And that's something that I really love to do. And then, you know, I call in my guides, and I pray, and I do a lot around my intention. And the thing that I really love is that with the clearer I get on my intentions, the more energy I put into them, the higher the likelihood that I'm going to follow through with them. And so, you know, I started working even with like a word of the year a few years ago, and I wasn't quite as in, like, I don't think that I did a ceremony with it, but I did write about it. I wrote a piece about it, and I really reflected on it. I pulled cards for it. That was the first time I chose a word, and it was expansion. And I pulled cards, and I put those cards on my altar. So even though I didn't do a ceremony, I put them on my altar, and I kept them there for a while. And every time I would go past my altar, I would think about my word expansion. I would think about it. I would be in it, and it really helped me to hold that energy. I also shared my intention with everybody, because I wrote about it and posted about it, but I shared about it with my close friends as well. I shared about it with my colleague and friend Alicia Miller and a few other people who were able to really kind of, like, I remember that was the year that Alicia and I joined a group business program together, and I may not even have been there if that hadn't been my word, and she may not have known, it may have not been so forthcoming with kind of pushing me, but she knew that was my word too, and she knew I was stepping into that. So I had some accountability with it as well. And so I found that is really helpful too. And again, if you fall out of alignment with your intention, if you realize, wait a minute, this isn't really where I want to be going, that's okay too. We don't have to hold on to something or beat ourselves up or try to make a square peg fit into a round hole. But even if we are being thorough and we're going through with this, and what will happen is that we'll be aligned, we'll be feeling into it, we'll be noticing it. Wait a minute, I'm a little off course here. And what's going on? Is it resistance? Is it something I need to investigate? Or is it just that it doesn't feel that good to me anymore, and I actually want to go in this direction instead? So just taking time to kind of tune into that. And the other thing I wanted to mention was that and I just brought up sort of that idea of community when I was talking about me and Alicia, and this is something that Alicia and I have actually noticed a lot over the last several years, is how important community is. I've seen, and when we've come together for retreats, the retreats that we host together, the retreats that I've hosted, the groups that I brought together, how important that is and how powerful it can be to work with in a community. Of course, there's a time and a place for private as well. But when we're in community with others, we're really, really able to see ourselves reflected through other people, and that can help us to have perspective, and it can help to show us things that maybe we wouldn't have noticed otherwise. A lot of ahas can happen when we are in the presence of a community of people. And in addition to that, we also have accountability, and we have an ability to come together and expand and explore energy. Energy really, it multiplies exponentially And so when we're in a group together, it's like, it's not so much like 1 + 1 = 2. It's more like 1 + 1 = like 100. It just gets a lot intensified, and you're able to go really deep a lot faster. And anytime, you know, we've done work where we've done communication or meditation, communication too, when we've done meditations, there's, you know, the energy magnifies when you bring people into it. So, so anyways, I really wanted to share about that. And because it is a big time of year for us to be setting ourselves up for success, right? And also really recognizing how we can best honor ourselves and best work with ourselves as we do so, and what that might look like for us. And then also with that in mind, and if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments. I'll be checking and see. And if you want to share something, Alicia wrote, group work is the best. It totally is. She's actually gone to 100%, well, about 90% group model. And it's been really, really powerful, I know, for everybody she's working with. And I'm stepping more and more into group because it really is. I love it. And with that in mind, I do have a group that I'm working with right now. It's an everyday spirituality program. It's 6 months. And we're going to spend the next 6 months together exploring everyday spirituality and how we can go deeper and how we can incorporate our spiritual practice into our lives. And I am loving it, loving it, loving it, loving it. And there's still time to join. We have a few spots left. So if you want to join, the doors close on that on the 5th. And they will definitely close on the 5th because we are creating sacred space. So the community is sort of garnering that energy as we go. Melissa wanted to ask, where is a good place for an altar? So Melissa, any place that feels good for you. And there are different, you can go as, you can be superficial with this, and you could go deeper as well. But when you choose an altar, you can, if you want, look at the directions. If you want to, for example, prosperity altar will be more highly activated if it's in a certain corner of the house, and I don't remember what they are right now. I think it might be northeast, but it might be northwest. So I would look it up. In my house, the directions don't always work for me very well because of just the way my house is laid out. So what I do at my house and what I've done at work too is I've chosen a spot that feels good for me. And also with where my current altar is, I went into meditation. I was like so confused. I was like, where I have like little altars all over, but I didn't have a place for my main altar. And I went into meditation and I asked my altar to show me where it needed to be. And it did. And not only did it show me where it needed to be, it gave me like extra information about it. Like, you can put me here, don't worry about the animals, but if the animals get on it, you can put this around it. So it was really good. But pick a place that feels good to you, where you want to sit. The energy has to feel good to you, where you want to be in a place that feels sacred to you. And then also with group work, Alicia and I have, we have a retreat coming up in March. And so I just wanted to share about that too, because it is a sacred emotion retreat. It's very, very deep healing. It's March 11th through 18th. And I want to put it out there that it is one of the most profound experiences, healing experiences that I've been a part of and witnessed to. So I'm going to put a couple links in the comments after this, and you guys can check those out. And if you have any questions about them, let me know too. I'm super, super, super excited. I am loving, loving, loving all of the community and group work that I am involved in right now. So with that said, do we have any more questions? Also with an altar, you know, once you choose that place that feels really good for you, choose items to put on it that feel really good to you as well, and recognizing that you can change them out as feels best for you. But if you are working with a specific intention, choose items that work towards that goal or intention, and that will just support the energy of it. And also you could do a larger altar table where you have different areas, where you could have like family area, relationship area, spiritual area. So you can do it in different ways. play around with it and see how it feels to you. So set an altar up, sit next to it, meditate next to it, and see how it feels. That's the best way. I mean, I think even more than working with the rules of an altar or the directions, if it feels good to you, if it feels like the energy is magnified and special and powerful, then it will be. Whatever feels good to you is what you are going to be able to create more within. So yeah, does anybody else have questions about sacred space or altars or anything else that you want to ask on the topic? I'll hold on for another minute. I'll just check and see if there's anything else. I have another Facebook Live too on sacred space that I can link in the comments because it goes a little more deeply into that aspect of it and create a sacred space where we are. You're welcome. I love you, Sophia Luna. God, what great lighting. We figured out lighting in my house, so you all might notice that. So thank you all so much. I really appreciate your presence here and your presence in my community. And please let me know. I have some questions I'm going to be addressing in upcoming Facebook Lives. I have everything put together. So if there's something in particular you want to know about, just email me or shoot me a message and I will address it in one of these upcoming weeks. And I hope you all have a really, really great new year. Thanks, Catherine. I appreciate that. I hope that you all have a really great new year. And thank you again for being a part of my community and my life. I love you. And I hope that I get to connect with you soon. Thank you. Bye.